Cryptocurrencies. Everything you don't understand about money combined with everything you don't understand about computers.
And that's what this show gives you. No understanding whatsoever.
The fundamental reason that Bitcoin has value is because people agree that it has value.
Oh geez, not this old canard again. People who say this only prove that they haven't done the least bit of research into the issue. They haven't even done the least bit of study of economics. If this were the case, if money only had value because people agree that it does, why on earth would there ever be hyperinflation like there was in the Weimar Republic or in current-day Venezuela? The fact is, if you use this canard of we all agree it has value, then you can explain precisely nothing. You can predict precisely nothing. Money has value for the same reason everything else has value. Supply and demand. There are a certain amount of dollars or Bitcoin or whatever, and a certain willingness of people to give up their dollars or Bitcoin for other things. That's the supply. There are people who want Bitcoin who are willing to give up other things for it, and that's the demand. Supply and demand are both curves, and the value is where the two curves cross. Basic economics.
Think of it like Beanie Babies. Why is this Beanie Baby currently being offered for sale on Etsy at a price of $15,000?
So wait, Bitcoins are like Beanie Babies? Huh? People use money. Money is a consumable. It's a product. It has utility. And cryptocurrencies are no different. They're not like collectible items like Beanie Babies. Also, Beanie Babies can't be updated with new features. They aren't fungible, portable, durable, verifiable, or divisible. Not without harming the value of it.
There are still some complicated technical issues to work out before it can become a usable everyday currency.
Okay, sure, Bitcoin itself has an issue with scalability, and now there are currently high transaction costs and long transaction times. But that's a problem distinct to Bitcoin. Other cryptocurrencies like Dash and Litecoin don't have that issue, and since consumers do have a choice, they'll ultimately pick the one that works best for them.
Just look what happened in January.
What happened in January was a regression to the mean after a rally in December.
A blockchain is a highly processed thing, sort of like a chicken McNugget. And if you wanted to hack it, it'd be like turning a chicken McNugget back into a chicken.
Because if anyone ever figures out how to turn a chicken McNugget back into a chicken...
So he doesn't understand that this metaphor is about the very basis of cryptography, what's known as an NP problem. A p-problem is a problem that can be solved in polynomial time. In other words, the difficulty of solving the problem scales with its size. But an NP problem is non-polynomial. As the problem gets bigger and bigger, the difficulty of solving it increases exponentially. Let's say you're only doing math by hand. Let's also say you have a book of 5-digit prime numbers. You pick two at random and multiply them together. It might take you a couple of minutes, but you can get an answer fairly easily. But what if someone gave you such a number and you had no clue what two 5-digit primes were used to make it? It would take you a really long time to solve it. You'd basically have to try one prime after another until you found one that worked. But here's the thing. If you could claim you found the two primes, someone else would be able to check it easily. Just multiply your two candidate primes together and see if it works. Now, computers can do calculations much more quickly than humans, but if you give it, say, a 78-digit prime and base your cryptography on that, then you have something that's difficult for the computer to solve. Difficult to solve, but easy to check. And that is the effect that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and basically all cryptography, takes advantage of.
Honestly, don't worry if you still don't understand it. Most people don't.
Including you.
Initial coin offerings, or ICOs, raised over $6 billion in 2017, with one company raising $35 million in under 30 seconds.
Funny how he doesn't tell you which company this is. He's talking about the ICO for the Brave web browser. Now, I'll grant you a lot of ICOs are bunk, but the Brave ICO is different because, unlike what John Oliver kept saying over and over and over again, they actually have a product and a business model. The Brave browser is an attempt to make a web browser fully dedicated to the privacy of the user, based on the open source Chromium browser. But this creates a problem, the same one caused by ad blockers. How are websites going to make their money? One misguided way of doing this has been to run a crypto miner inside the user's browser. But this is horribly inefficient, and the user generally pays a lot more on his power bill from the additional energy required to run it than the website gets in cryptocurrency. That's where the Brave token comes in. This isn't stock in Brave or anything like that. It represents micropayments to websites. Every website you visit that supports it would get a tiny amount of Brave tokens in micropayments. Users could cheaply and easily pay to browse the website without an annoying middleman. Now, will it work? Only time will tell. Maybe it will, but maybe it won't. But pretending that the Brave ICO is exactly the same as a fraudulent ICO is just one more way that John Oliver has no clue what he's talking about.
Labelled a Ponzi scheme by many in the industry.
But how is it a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is when you promise to pay investors back with interest by using money from new investors. Bitcoin makes no promises. It's just a thing that has current value that might go up or down, and the way you make money is by selling it directly.
Something nobody had any reason to suspect from their promotional material, except that it featured this actual illustration of their bonus system, which seems to just be a picture of a man coming up with the idea for a pyramid scheme.
A tiered system is not a pyramid scheme! A pyramid scheme is an open-ended system where customers are also salespeople and they pay dividends up the chain. It is not investing at different levels to get different returns. Can he not just look up what things mean before mouthing off on them?
The important thing to remember here is that this is a brand new, very complicated space and literally nobody knows how it's going to develop. So you need to be careful. And I know that sounds boring. Caution is a tough sell when you're up against BitConnect and HODL Gang.
Okay, but that's true of all investment items. The problem here is not that his criticism is invalid, it's that there's no reason to single out cryptocurrencies. The main problem with Oliver's advice here is that it's worthless. It means exactly as much as the old buy low, sell high canard. It's true, but it doesn't help you predict what you should do at any given moment. It just leaves you with the feeling that you know more than you already do. In fact, the only way to properly invest money you don't want to lose is to use low overhead market index funds for stocks and bonds, have some gold, and also have some cash stashed away, perhaps in a money market account. 25% of your investment dollars in each works fine. But Oliver doesn't understand the difference between investing and speculating. He has the CNBC idea of investment where it's all about day trading, and he even likened it to gambling. John Oliver's screed was 25 minutes long and incredibly long-winded. I mean, sometimes it took him several minutes just to make one point. Whereas I explained the P versus NP problem, one of the greatest problems in all mathematics, in what, less than a minute? If brevity is the soul of wit, John Oliver has none. Even the normally hilarious Keegan-Michael Key couldn't save it here. Hey Oliver, here's a tip. If you have someone imitate an annoying guy, it's going to be an annoying routine. Remind me why people watch this dreck again. Long-winded, annoying, unfunny, and worse than useless. You'd have been better off using that 25 minutes to enjoy porn. At least you wouldn't have had bad ideas pumped into your head. Well, depending on the porn. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can produce more, support this channel on Patreon and Maker Support. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.